Hey guys, so today we're going to be playing with the brand new Tom Ford eye color quads, and these eye color quads have a little bit of a different formula. They are like a creamy powder type of formula, and let me tell you, they seem incredible. I have not tried them on my eyes yet, but I have touched them, I've swatched them, which I'll show you in just a second, and they are amazing. I purchased these 3 new quads off of Sephora. They are $89 each, and I am so excited to try these out. So I'm looking over at my pile of quads here, and I'm trying to figure out which one to start with. So I'm going to start actually with number 35, which is Rose Topaz. And when I first opened this one up, I was surprised at how the top left-hand corner shade wasn't quite as rose as I thought it was going to be. I don't know if my mind was swayed by the actual name of the eye color quad, but here's a close-up of the palette, and you can see that that top left-hand shade is just, it's very nude, and you'll see in these swatches here that it's not rosy at all, and I'm not sure why Tom Ford keeps, I don't know, naming things like a certain kind of colorway, and it's just not, and I'm reminded of the Soleil Neige, the most recent Soleil Neige eye color quad, which was naked pink, and there was nothing pink about that at all. And I feel like there's nothing rose about this one. But beside that, it is, I think, really, really beautiful. So that's the Rose Topaz. The second one we'll be trying is called Tiger's Eye, or Tiger Eye, excuse me, number 36. This one looks incredible. So here's a close-up of the palette. Look at that top right-hand shade. It is just this really, really beautiful golden peach, a little bit deeper than just a straight up peach. I feel like it's like a salmon color. And here are some swatches. And I don't know if you guys can see that like creaminess kind of coming through the camera, but these really are very, very creamy. And a lot of these shadows, when you look at them in the pan, you think, oh, okay, maybe they'll be satin. But I'm just gonna show you this palette now that I've put my finger in there. Do you see like the metallic sheen to them? I mean, just absolutely gorgeous. So this Tiger's Eye palette has like 3 metallic sheen colors and then this creamy matte color. And I did not mention in the Rose Topaz, we have one like kind of creamy satin color. We have one that's more metallic, and then these two, the first and the last, are creamy mattes. And then the third palette we'll be talking about is the number 37 Smoky Quartz. And I feel like this is the one that I've been asked about the most. Like, oh, make sure you review the Smoky Quartz palette. I'm like, okay. They all looked really beautiful to me. So I was just curious why everyone was really into this one. If you want to let me know down below in the comment section. But here's a close look at this palette. And all of the shades in this palette are the creamy matte formula. So I am so excited for this because take a look at these swatches. I just feel like if you want a really sultry, smoky look, this is going to be the one. And after I swatched it, I felt like I knew why you guys were most interested in this, probably because they're all mattes. But let me know. Let me know down below in the comment section, or let me know which one you were most excited for. So what I'm going to do is actually apply all 4 of the shades from all 3 of these quads. I'm just going to remove my eye look, you know, after each quad. So just sending some strength to my eyelids right now. I'm not going to do like full-on eyeliner and mascara. That's just too hard to remove between each application. So just to let you know. And because these are like of a creamier formula, I'm going to make sure that I use brushes that are good with creams. Basically, undyed goat hair or synthetic haired fiber brushes will be good for these palettes. Oh my God, it's like I'm so excited, I don't know where to start. So I'm gonna start with one of my favorite cream shadow brushes, which is the Sonuji Worker 2 brush. This is undyed goat hair. And wow, where do I start? I'm gonna start upper left-hand corner and just apply. Well, it's gonna be really hard to tell how this applies. It's very, very close to my skin tone. So far it seems very smooth, but I'll have to hold off on any opinion until we get into the other shades. And I'm just swiping this over like the middle portion of my lid, the center portion of my lid. All right, and I'm gonna go right into this deep shade here. Well, 1, it's a deeper color, so we'll be able to see that on my lid, but 2, I wanna see how it plays with this other shade and if I'm able to get like a nice kind of transition between the two. So I'm just gonna use the same brush. I'm gonna flip it over and use the cleaner side and just pick up a little bit of this deep brown because it is very, very dark. And I just want to be a little bit careful with this deeper shade. So I'm just patting some pigment down, kind of placing it where I want the shadow. Whenever I feel like I have too much on my brush, I just kind of swipe it onto the back of my hand just to kind of get it into the brush and also wipe off any excess. So I'm going to do that and then use this to blend. And I'm just using like the tips of the bristles here to like spread out the shadow. Oh, I like that. It's doing a nice job kind of working with the lighter shade there, getting a nice kind of like ombre effect. Oh, pretty. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Yeah, I think it's blending really nicely. I would definitely take it slow. I used just the smallest amount of the shadow and I feel like I'm just getting a really nice kind of depth here. Nice sort of dimension is being added. And it's blending into that lighter shade really nicely. Ah, all right. So far, so good. I am gonna grab a different brush. I'm gonna grab my Esom W23 brush. This is Sable Hair, which is also really great for creamy type products. It's also really good for shimmery type products. So I'm gonna go into this shade down here and I'm just gonna pat this over my lid where I have like the deeper shade. Really pretty. You guys see that? Beautiful, beautiful taupe color. Slightly cool toned. I feel like this is a great neutral palette. This is the one shade that is like a little bit cool leaning, maybe this brown too. But these two are really fairly neutral. And then I'm gonna flip this brush over and go into this shade, which is a little bit less glittery than this one. It's a little bit more of like a satin. And I'm gonna put this, the inner corner of my eye here. Just a little bit, just to make that pop a little. Really pretty. Wow, these are nice. Now these shadows are definitely different feeling than the Extreme Badass Metal Lust. Those metallic shades in there, they were like a bit chunkier than these. These definitely have more of a creaminess to them. All right, so that is Rose Topaz. Again, forgive me, I'm not gonna be adding eyeliner or mascara because I just can't bear the thought of having to remove that twice. Very pretty, and I really, really like how the shades behave. This formula is really easy to work with. I didn't have any problems with it. And I am, as you guys know, no makeup artist. All right, let me go ahead and take this off and then we'll move on to the Tiger Eye palette. All right, let's try Tiger Eye. This is, again, what this one looks like. I am so in love with this fun color in the upper right-hand corner, but I'm not gonna start there. I'm gonna start with the upper left-hand corner. I'm really predictable when it comes to eyeshadow. I'm gonna grab the Sony G Worker 3 brush since that's clean. It's very similar to the Worker 2, it's just a little smaller. And I'm gonna start the inner corner there. Very pretty. This palette definitely is a lot more warm than the Rose Topaz. This light shade has a little bit of a peach undertone to it. You probably saw it better, my swatches. And I'm gonna take the same brush. I'm now gonna go into the fun shade here. Very exciting. And I'm gonna add this to the outer corner and work that in. Oh, how pretty. I love that both of these shades, well, all three of these shades, the more metallic ones, have like a gold kind of like overtone to them. So beautiful. So there's that peach, very like sunset vibes. And I don't find this product hard to pick up. I'm also not noticing any fallout, probably because it has like a creaminess to it. But what I do like about this is a lot of times I find creamy shadows to just end up being very, very thick. And you guys know, I'm not really into like very thick makeup in any way. Makeup basically that I feel like I can feel on my eyelids. It's not my favorite thing. This is very, very weightless, despite it being very, very creamy. I'm just gonna focus a little bit more of this on the center of my lid because I'm gonna go in with a deeper shade on the outer corner here. And I wanna make sure we can still see this pretty peach when we're done. Now I'm just gonna flip this brush over and I'm gonna go into this shade here. And again, this one has a metallic sheen as well. And I'm just gonna add this to the outer corner a bit. I think because this one is metallic too, it's not giving me that extra dimension that I like. You know what I mean? Because the light, you know, it's making it look a little bit lighter than it is. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna leave that there, but I think I'm gonna just add this into that transition area just to kind of like frame the socket area here. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Yeah, so that's that third shade, that kind of depth you see up here. That's the shade. And now I'm gonna go into this shade, which is a matte. And I guess I can continue using this brush. I'm just gonna dip in just lightly, basically do the same thing I did with the Rose Topaz. And add this to my outer corner for some depth. I'm sure I could use this as a liner as well. Yeah, so that gives me like that little bit of depth that I like. Add some dimension, kind of frames out my eye area nicely. And I like how all these shadows are working together. So, so nice. One isn't interfering with the other, one isn't like picking up the other one when I'm brushing it over. Like they're really behaving really nicely with one another. Okay, so here is Tiger Eye. All four of the shades are on my eyes. Oh, I love it. Love it. If you're looking for one that's like warm, this is the quad you're gonna wanna get. This shade is just so pretty. So, so pretty. That golden sheen is gorgeous that all three of these shades have. Oh, I love it. All right, let me take off this eyeshadow and then we'll get into Smoky Quartz. Okay, now for Smoky Quartz. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna go in with my Refer number 2 brush. So this is like a flat shader of undyed goat hair. And I'm just gonna start on the upper left-hand corner here. Place this on my inner lid. I wonder, this is actually deeper than I was thinking. This one maybe should have started in the socket line. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, hang on one second. Okay, I've got my Refer number 1 brush. I'm gonna go back into this top left-hand shade. And this brush is, it's flat, but it is fluffier than the number 2 brush. I'm gonna make sure I don't have too much product. And add this to that socket line area. Okay, I'm going to take the same brush. I'm going to go into the top right-hand corner shade. And I think I picked up way too much. Hold on. Okay, now I'm going to apply this to the inner corner and drag it over the center of my lid. This is such a pretty shade. It's really hard to describe because it's almost like a desaturated peach color because it's not quite orange enough to call it a peach. Yeah, I feel like this is a very like desaturated palette. Like it just looks very kind of toned down and earthy. I love it. Love it. I almost wish I had like interiors in this color story, almost like a set of vases or bowls and dishes or like bed linens or pillows on my couch, right? Wouldn't that be so pretty? Okay, that shade is down. Now I'm gonna go over here. This shade is a little bit more reddish brown. So it's just a hint deeper than that one. that previous one that I just put down. So I'm gonna add this to the outer edge here and bring that over the center of my lid. These two shades are pretty close on the lids. I feel like if you were to get this palette, or if you have this palette, I feel like you could use like these three shades for a look, or these three shades for a look. Like if this one is maybe just a little bit too cool toned, you can use these three, or if this one's like a little bit too warm, you can use these three, kind of, because they're very, very similar on the lid. I think in person you'd be able to tell better, but definitely over the camera they look, I'm looking in the viewfinder, they look very, very similar. Like, you know, it almost looks like I just put one shade all over my lid. And now I'm gonna apply this deep brown shade, and I'm gonna try it with my W36 brush from Esom. You guys know this is one of my favorite brushes for like outer corner dimension adding. So I'm going to pick up just a bit. Always better to start with less than more. And I'm going to place and flick. Works nicely with this shadow formula, so that's good. I'm gonna kind of knock off any excess here and then just use the the brush to blend. Okay, since this is the last quad I'm going to be trying, I am going to use this shade as eyeliner, and then I will add some mascara. But I'm going to go ahead and use my Bobbi Brown Smoky Eyeliner brush, pick up just a bit of this, and add to my lower lash line. Ooh, that's dark. Definitely wiping off the excess here. I'm actually going to try a fluffy brush, fluffy pencil brush, like this one from Rephr. This is the number 12 brush. And I'm going to really blend that out. It looks very, very stark next to this kind of like soft, this softer application of eyeshadow. All right, I'm gonna curl my lashes, apply some mascara, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, this is my final look with the Smoky Quartz palette. I really, really love these quads. I know I've only used them once, but I am really enjoying this formula. I love this sort of creamy powder formula that they have. I love these three different quads. I think as boring as they kind of looked online, and I thought they looked very, very close, they are quite different, and I like the assortment of different shades in each quad. So in the Rose Topaz, again, we've got these two mattes here. We have this satin, and then we have this glittery shade. This is the only glittery shade that appears in all three of these new quads. And then in Tiger Eye, we have three satiny metallics with like a little bit of duochrome in here, and then we've got this matte. Gorgeous. This one's a little bit warmer. This is more neutral, and then we have this Smoky Topaz with all mattes and a very like deep, and like I keep saying, very like desaturated kind of color story that I really, really love. If you want something kind of like sultry and smoky and sexy, I feel like this is perfect for that. So I'm just a big fan. I'm a big, big fan of these so far. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.